Yes.
Good evening.
Now, before we start talking about the campaign,
Yes.
Can you just remind us a little bit about the fires and the devastation that followed?
Yeah, the fires actually occurred, I think, a week or two ago. I mean, there was this poignant picture that was posted by the city of Cape Town, and that picture really, captured the impact of that particular fire. When I tweeted that picture, it gained over 3,000 retweets. But for me, what was important is the reception of that particular picture and the impact. As you would know, it wasn't so long ago, 2 years ago, we were dealing with Knysna fires, and then we now have Khayelitsha. Subsequently, there's been Vrygrond, there's been Masipulele, and Philippi fires as well. So it unfortunately has been a fire season in Cape Town.
And now we have them spreading in the Eastern Cape.
Sadly so, yeah.
So now, how is the campaign? Let's talk about the campaign. How has the campaign been received by the public?
All right, the campaign actually has been receiving positive feedback. The tweet was entitled "Remember Khayelitsha," and it was quite deliberate on my part because, as I said, Knysna 2 years ago, and suddenly Khayelitsha. Unfortunately, in my view, and this is speaking for myself, the reception insofar as Knysna and Khayelitsha has not been parallel. No. I think corporate SA hasn't really come through to the party to a certain extent, like they did in Knysna, and the whole point was to get everyone galvanized to actually remember what happened in Khayelitsha.
Okay, so there's been an imbalance in the kind of
to a certain extent, yes. Okay. And what we then did is, to us South Africans, we put up under hashtag Country Duty, which is an NPO, banking details. We identified spots insofar as people dropping off, and then we called South Africans together to come and show their support towards this unfortunate incident.
Now, what are your plans to reinforce this campaign? Yeah. Going forward. Yeah,
I think the hashtag is still gaining momentum. Where we're sitting right now, we are on 81,000 rand, and I think it could be more. There've been people who've made promises and they've adhered to those promises, and in my view, it's only going to pick up in the next coming week or so. But I need to point out, however, that amount, given the number of people who've been displaced, I've already pointed out that it's 4 areas. 80,000 or 150,000 is not going to be enough, and it's not for hashtag Country Duty to really come up and build structures and stuff. That's a government competency and jurisdiction. What we are saying and what we're asking for is, let us deal with vital things like baby formula, school uniforms and stuff. But I think political willingness is important, and let it come to the fore so that people can start with their lives.
So you're looking at 81,000 rand that has been collected by the campaign.
Correct.
What is it that you need? How much do you actually need?
As I said, because it's 4 affected areas, so we do have people on the ground that are conducting urgent need analysis, and we don't see it as something that's ending now. We are effectively going to see it at the beginning of the year, for example, with kids with school uniform. But what is urgent is baby formula, nappies, sanitary towels, and the likes, and would really appreciate if people were to contact us, and I think details will be on the screen shortly, and even on Twitter, and we can see how we partner with them and ensure that those get to the people that are in need.
Do you have any other fundraising initiatives?
Yes, we do. So if you look at it's firstly our banking details. It's a net bank account, and I think they will probably come up as well on the screen. We've also do through Back a Buddy. It's a crowdfunding initiative where we're sitting is at 25,000 there, and I think the target on crowdfunding is 150,000, and through banking donations, as I said, 81,000. But we think that we can do more, and we are urging people to, at least if they can't do it monetarily, let them put courier stuff to Cape Town at drop-off points up on the screen, and we can at least get the assistance to the people.
Are you only involved with this particular project?
Yes, so far. As I said, it's with 4 areas. Yes. But what we do under hashtag Country Duty, amongst other things, we assist insofar as we can. There have been instances where students didn't have money to graduate, for example, and we'll even call South Africans to come through and try and raise fees in relation to that. And it's been very positive. I mean, it's a platform where people come in and either, raise their views if they're unhappy with government or private sector, but it's really sort of a nice niche community that is providing solutions on a daily basis.
And what is government and the authorities saying to you?
So far, to be honest with you, and with the people on the ground, they've reached out to us, but we are now, because we have people on the ground in Cape Town, the councillors are not playing ball, and we think they really need to do what is required. We are happy to provide assistance insofar as what we think, because we have the list, for example. We know already, unfortunately, there was a death in as a result of Khayelitsha, and what we will do with the contributed monies is to put 10,000 towards funeral expenses of someone who really has passed on. And I also just want to point out to South Africans, this is not our money, it's not Tumi's money, but it's, you know, we've been mandated by South Africans, and we will make sure that we account every week. We at least get a statement, we go to your relative stores and then say this is what's the need, and we'll purchase, and then we'll put it up again on Twitter from a transparency perspective.
What about a goods collection point? Do you have
yes, set up? We do. We have actually 16 drop-off points, and I think it will also come up on the screen as well, where it is throughout the country. People also, and I need to give credit where it's due, have set up drop-off points closer to their areas, and we are urging people to do that again. So if you are in the West Rand, for example, or in the Eastern Cape, and you're wanting to contribute, get in touch with us, just send out a tweet, we'll pick it up, and then we'll mark that as a drop-off point so that it's centralized. In fact, with the team that we're working on, there are trucks that are really awaiting delivery and collections, and they'll drive down to Cape Town at no cost. And that really shows why South Africans are doing what they're doing, and if we are connected, we'll get the things
South Africans are opening their hearts.
Absolutely.
Are you obviously broadening the campaign to other parts of the country so that you can draw donations?
Indeed, we are, and I think as for us and for myself, this is a South African campaign. It's not really aimed at individual. It is important, in my view, that people own up. If you are sitting in Durban and you feel strongly and passionately about this, take it up. Let us share some ideas. Let you be the person who really runs it from that perspective. We'll add you on the WhatsApp group where we can coordinate and share ideas, but you'll be our contact person in Durban. If you're sitting in Limpopo, for example, you can do that. But at least if we gain that particular momentum, it means that the people in Khayelitsha, in Philippe, in Fragrant are getting the assistance and stuff. So we are open to suggestions.
Okay, so do you think that the lack of interest is largely due to the fact that it's localized?
To a certain extent, but more importantly, and I think you guys are playing an important role by having us talking about this, but we really need people on the ground to tell the stories. In Nice now, for example, we knew Ms. Van Tonder, we knew Mr. Van der Merwe, because they were able to speak and tell their stories. We would like to see that happening with the people of Khayelitsha as well, and then at least we get the ball rolling.
All right. Tumi Sole, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, that was activist Tumi Sole talking to us about the campaign to raise funds for Khayelitsha and the fire that broke out a short while ago. We're going to take another break. Tobisa Sotole is back after the break with the weekend's sporting action. Don't go away.
Last week, residents from these areas embarked on a shutdown which turned